Right, time to start. All right, welcome to another live stream. We're excited to get started on week 4 for the week 4 for the bachelor's class and week 2 for the master's class. So hopefully everybody will get in. How many concurrent? We've got 15 people here now. 14 people. Okay. And there's everybody. Okay. Terry, Tristan, John, Ahmad, Ebony, Ariana, Allison. Good. Brandon. All right. Good to see y'all here. That's good. All right. So, okay. And you can see Robert taking the attendance.
No, they cannot.
They can't see that? I can see it.
Yeah, you can see it. I'm not capturing my display.
Oh, interesting. Robert has the technology under his fingers. All right. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We have 15 people that announced that they were here. Do we have a duplicate in there? And Daniel? Maybe it just hasn't updated over there because we got more people announcing in the chat than what we have as concurrent users showing. So, it takes a while to get it in there. So that's good. All righty. Well, today we do have a Kahoot that I haven't even pulled up yet, Robert. That's terrible, awful.
You are behind.
I'm way behind. Why didn't I pull that up already? So let me get that pulled up. Okay. All right. Log in. Continue with Microsoft. And all right, here we go. Okay.
So if you guys can start going to kahoot.it, as soon as we get this started, you guys can join right in.
So this is for week 5, Robert? Is that how it's marked?
Yeah.
7 questions?
Yep.
All righty. Did I misannounce it? We're in week 5 of the bachelor's class and week 3 of the master's class. I should have done better than that. So I'm going to plug that right there. Okay. And let's go ahead and hit start there and do a classic game. All right, we're getting a game pin. Okay. We've got 18 concurrent users, so we're looking for 18 players, hopefully, unless there's some people at work that can't do the Kahoot. So just let me know at chat if you just can't join. That's fine. And the pin number is in both the chat and on the screen, if you can see the screen and play Kahoot at the same time. Okay.
Can you mute your desktop, please?
Okay, there we go. All right, we got 15. Okay. Are we going to get any more? Okay, Jihad is at work, so he's not going to be joining us. Okay. So we got 17 and, okay, 18, 19. Okay. Well, now, I have to confess, I have not actually seen some of the questions, meaning that Robert helped me revise and update some of the questions. So, okay, Ahmad and Jihad can't play, and Jelani can't play. Okay, good. So
what you're saying is we are testing you tonight as much as the students.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
We are. So if I fumble, all right, let's get started.
Okay.
Let's get started. Okay, blockchain for business, week 5. 3, 2, and 1, and let's go. Okay, quiz. What happens when governance fails? Red, the blockchain becomes corrupted and all transactions on it are invalid. Blue, the blockchain reverts to its original state prior to the proposal. Okay, all tokens or coins associated with that blockchain lose their value as gold. And green, it can lead to forks where the blockchain splits into multiple versions. All right, which do you think is the most reasonable and logical answer? And ignore the color of the hands because...
Yeah, they aren't telling you anything. Yeah. Fejo says the same thing. He'll try to be active, but he's at work as well.
Okay.
Very good.
It's great that you guys have come in spite of being at work. So we're kind of all over the board here. I get it. So, red, okay. Basically what happens when governance fails, in other words, if the governance along the way that basically puts it out in a measured sort of way and all the testing is done and all of the basic stuff that you do in IT to make sure that code is good and correct, basically if that all fails, it in the blockchain world, it can lead to forks in the blockchain and split into multiple versions. We saw that happen when Bitcoin implemented, and a group of people said, we don't want the new update, and Bitcoin Classic was created along the way. So that led to a fork in the blockchain that basically just stayed on the old, and the rest of Bitcoin went to the new stuff. So kind of all over the park on that, but 3 people did get the right answer, and let's see which 3 it was. All right. And Robert was one of the 3 that got the right answer. Robert wrote it. Robert should know it, right? Okay, let's go next.
The additional comment there is on a blockchain, especially like Bitcoin, where governance is done by consensus. You have to have consensus to make a change. And when you have a large portion of the consensus makers who want something else, they just...
I already started the next question, so let me read the question out. When we say that blockchains are trustless, it means red, people have lost trust in cryptos following the many scams, or blue, crypto can never be stolen, or gold, the blockchain creates rules that remove the need for trust, or green, nobody trusts the system, so verification is done by users. So which is the most correct answer? When we say that blockchains are trustless, it means... And I'll let you continue with your comment, Robert, as soon as we get the answer to this one. I just didn't want to...
Yeah, I apologize.
Interesting. Did you put the Kahoot.it number at the bottom of the screen?
I did, yes.
Okay. And we have 11 that got totally the correct answer. That's great. It's a rule-based system where computers execute the rules. Everybody agrees to those rules, so therefore the trust is put in the system rather than in intermediary human-type persons. Mm-hmm. So, Robert, did you have more comment that you wanted to finish out?
No, I think I pretty much got to the end. But yeah, when you have a portion of the people who don't want to follow the new rules, they just continue following the old rules. You create a fork, and they move off, become their own blockchain. Mm-hmm. And that's happened a number of times.
And what was interesting is if you owned Bitcoin before the fork, you owned the same amount of Bitcoin Classic as well. So it actually made a lot of people wealthy for those that followed the Classic. Unfortunately, I didn't own any Bitcoin at the time. So, okay. All right. Terry got it. Very good. Lamar. Terry and Lamar have both questions right so far. That's good. That's good. Okay. Moving to the next one. Let's see. Proof of work and proof of stake are consensus mechanisms. How do they contribute to a trustless environment? So, red, by guaranteeing that each validator will validate an equal number of blocks. Blue, by requiring miners to store a complete history of all transactions. Gold, by ensuring all users are anonymous. And green, by validating transactions without a centralized authority. Which do you think proof of work and proof of stake, how do they contribute to a trustless environment? Boy, I trust that cart. That's quite a picture.
You know, funny enough, anytime you Google the pictures of mining, you get this kind of thing.
Okay.
They don't have pictures of Bitcoin mining.
Mm-hmm. All right. And most people were able to figure out the correct answer there, too. So it basically validates, that is the mechanism that allows a public blockchain to not have to have a centralized authority to validate transactions, because each computer on the network then provides the proof of work or proof of stake validation for each of the transactions. So that's good. That's good. Okay, Lamar is still shooting up, and we got up 4 places. Nathan claimed the most this time. That's good. Okay, Ethereum uses off-chain governance. True or false? Now, where did you get that question, Robert?
The previous one?
No, this one.
This one? Oh, this one was part of the previous Kahoot. So actually, I believe this one is directly in one of the textbooks.
In what?
I think this one is in one of the 2 textbooks.
Okay.
So, on the previous question, the only answer I'd like to add a little bit to is one of them said that each node contains a complete copy of the blockchain. And while that's generally true, that's not explicitly true, especially with the technology called sharding that's used, which allows nodes to only contain portions of the blockchain, which are then re-enveloped. I don't remember what the term is in blockchain, and then verified as whole chunks later with other mechanisms. So not technically true, but
we split the crowd here.
Wow,
8 and
nice.
8. Oddly enough, Ethereum has never used on-chain governance. They've always been off-chain in their governance model, which I actually find a little bit interesting. Most private blockchains use on-chain governance. I'm seeing more and more public blockchains that use off-chain governance. So governance is possible on a blockchain, but you see it more in the private ones. So, Nehal, okay, up 5 places. Ryan climbed the fastest this last time. Okay, let's see the next one. What is not a form of blockchain governance? Okay, red, tokenized governance, a separate token issued which grants voting rights. Or blue, off-chain governance, a voting group decides on changes. On-chain governance, token holders vote on changes. Or ungoverned, the token is unchangeable, so it doesn't need governance. Okay?
And this is asking in the negative, what is not a form of governance?
Of blockchain governance.
One of the, comment to the last question, with Ethereum being governed off-chain, I think that's one of the strengths of Ethereum. The idea of the NFT through the ERC20 tokens, those were created at a later date, not when Ethereum was first issued. And those kinds of changes and additions to Ethereum, I don't personally believe would be possible if it was all on-chain. It takes a smaller group, I think, to be able to create that.
All right. Yeah, most of everybody got the got the point here. So that's good. That's great. Are you deliberately answering wrong? Are you one of those blue and
Yes.
red
Yes.
ones? Okay.
I accidentally answered correctly on the first question. I apologize.
Oh, accident. All right, Amber. Ooh, Amber and Nahal are just, and Dan are just neck and neck.
Yeah.
Within 7 points of each other for the whole top three. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
All righty, let's go to the next one. In the context of blockchain governance, why are DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, significant? Red, they are primarily used to speed up transaction time on a blockchain. Blue, they provide a method to prevent hard forks in a blockchain system. Yellow, they create a decentralized rules-based decision-making process. And green, their primary method for verifying new transactions. Okay. Got to know a little bit about DAOs for this. And oddly enough, I've never seen a successful one yet.
No. They were a big thing there for a short while.
Well, yeah, until they started crumbling.
Mm-hmm.
Because, what happens when you've got a runaway DAO? Alrighty.
Yep.
And we got majority of the people answered correctly. A DAO basically has its own set of rules. It just, nobody rules it. Nobody has their fingers into it, and it just goes off on its own. And that's part of the problem, is once you have an error in it, it's hard to stop them to get the error fixed. So some of the crypto hacks that we've seen have been, in DAOs. And that's, that can be a challenge for people who want to have confidence in the crypto side of blockchain to know that the rules are strong and good. The problem is, the only way you find out if the rules aren't strong enough is for it to get hacked.
Yep.
And so there's always a loser.
You have to trust not just that the leadership is a good team or that they mean well, but also that there's no hackers out there that mean ill towards the blockchain and could do something terrible towards it.
And that the developers are good enough at their trade to actually make it secure. Yeah. Okay, let's go next here. Let's see. Dan zoomed to the top.
Wow.
And created a little bit of a lead there. Okay, almost 100 lead. Very good. Okay. And the last question. Blockchains operate entirely through code written before the blockchain was launched and cannot be modified. True or false? We should get 100% answering correct on this one. Don't you think?
Yeah. I love how
This is kind of a gimme. Hey, Sean. Good to have you.
they put the most difficult question first, and nobody got it right. Or 3 of us got it right. And the easiest question last.
Mm-hmm. Now you're going to make somebody who gets it wrong feel bad.
Oh, no.
So.
Don't get it wrong. Just don't get it wrong. You won't feel bad.
Okay. 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 We got 16 people have answered. A couple people are still noodling the question there. Okay. 8 and 8.
Oh, no.
Okay. Nearly all blockchains have been updated at some point or another, and their governance allows them to be upgraded. We talked about even Bitcoin, the venerable old man on the floor there, that it even had a fork, and the fork is a change in code. And some people didn't agree with the change and created Bitcoin Classic. So there are code changes happening all the time, techniques that have been perfected that have improved the code. And there's a consortium of people who contribute to updates to the code constantly. And by doing so, they are able to improve it along the way. So Very good. Okay, so let's see who hits the podium this week. Number 3 is Brandon. Okay. Number 2 is Amber. Hey, good job. And da-da-da-da. And we have Dan on the top. Dan came from nowhere to take it over. Nathan and Lamar, runners up there, 4 and 5. That's cool. That is cool. Okay. Very good. Let's go. Did it redo? Okay. Okay, fine.
We just wanted to see the monkey dance again.
And leave. There we go. Okay, very good. Very good. Okay, so what I want to launch into is a discussion that was started by the person in class that posted this particular article. And in that post, what I noticed either in one of the responses to it or later on is, if blockchain is so secure, why do we keep seeing these kind of hacks all the time? And while that's a legitimate question, I'd like you to answer the poll that's out there first, and see what everybody says. And now, don't give me the answer that you just think I want from you, because definitely these kind of articles would make you wonder.
Absolutely. Well, so far they're looking more confident than what I expected.
Yeah. Same here. Same here.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Can you see how many have responded, Robert?
We have 15 votes so far.
Okay.
I think Ahmed has a good response there.
Okay. It's a loaded question.
Feels like it's secure,
Okay.
but it has a lot of loopholes.
I want to address what Ahmed just posed there. Secure with a lot of loopholes. I want to show you where those loopholes are is the issue. Okay. Sometimes should definitely be an option.
Yes. Agreed.
Okay, I can handle that. Okay. So we had 17 total votes, 76% positive, 23% negative on that one. And so we have this article that was posted about a crypto exchange that had a hot wallet that was hacked. And what I want you to notice is what was hacked in each one of these situations. For one, the focus of the class is on blockchain for business. It's not on cryptocurrencies. Okay, that's number one. We're getting a lot of articles posted about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and this is part of the issue here with a lot of uncertainty being developed in the mainstream media, and a lot of pundits out there who don't really understand the difference between the blockchains you'd use for a business and the blockchains that are public in nature, that run DAOs, that run the DeFi or distributed finance applications. They're all based on smart contracts that are added to a blockchain and not part of the actual blockchain itself. The blockchain as a data stream is rarely, if ever, hacked. In fact, I have not seen a single hack of an actual blockchain. I've seen a hack of smart contracts. I've seen a hack of a lot of different add-ons that try to perform functions and use the blockchain as a data repository. So, and here's one example. It's here a hot wallet that got hacked here. They exploited a vulnerability in that wallet that allowed them to get to users' funds that were on the blockchain. In other words, they were able to gain access to users' actual public or I keep on saying public, private keys that allowed them to get into various wallets. And they were able to steal $54 million worth of tokens, okay? CoinEx, I haven't even heard of CoinEx. Obviously, they're not a small exchange, but there's a lot of these exchanges out there that just, they get launched and then they get hacked and they go away. Gox was by far the most nefarious one, the most infamous exchange that was hacked early on. And it was hacked on for a bunch of Bitcoin, and the exchange had to close. They couldn't survive. They couldn't survive the hack. They couldn't pay back all their customers, and so they became insolvent and had to fold. So the challenge is that they've identified a wallet address that was used to get into the exploit. Ethereum, XRP, TRX, Matic, and SOL were, it looks like KDA and XDAG tokens were all exploited after exploiting lax security measure on wallets used by the exchange. Okay, so they're getting in through a door that was opened to them based on the exchange and the way the exchange was coded. Let's go to the next one here.
So that one's just another data breach, just kind of, oh no, they have your Amazon password, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And they were able to hack it directly directly from the exchange.
Okay.
And get into it, okay? You don't hear of Coinbase getting hacked. You know, these other hardline exchanges that have been around a long time and become hardened in their security, you just don't hear of them being hacked. But then you hear of like FTX, which was the big one last year in 2022, and how basically it became a Ponzi scheme eventually, and went down. And now I hope he'll be charged, but the problem is he had a lot of politicians under his thumb. He donated a lot of that cash he was stealing to politicians. So we're still waiting for him to get actually charged and brought to trial and held accountable for the billions of dollars he stole. Not millions, but billions in that case. So then we go to Crypto Hacks at Cool Wallet here. And what I was looking for, okay, you don't have to worry about hacks. So more collapsing. Finish your sentence so that I can understand what you're saying there, Nathan. Not quite getting it. Okay, so Q1 2023 crypto hacks and scams. If we go down here, there have been, last year the amount of money lost was huge compared to this year. Last year it was $17 billion, and we're talking about less than 1 million stolen this year, although not much less than 1 million. So we
less than 1 billion so far this year.
Yeah, less than 1 billion so far this year.
Yeah.
Did I say million again?
Yeah.
The exchange itself falling apart versus someone getting a hold of your assets. Yes. The problem is the wallets that were hacked ended up being wallets of individuals. So that was a problem. Okay, so in the first quarter of 2023, 320 million was stolen. Euler Finance was one of them that was hacked. And once again, here you have a finance system that had smart contracts, that the smart contracts were hacked to steal money. So it was, it was a flash loan exploit. And we will see quite a few of these flash loan exploits. In other words, what they do is a flash loan exploit is when they go get a loan really quick before they provide the hard security for the loan, and then they close out the loan before the collateral is paid and walk away with the money. So they're able to open the loan, get the money, and then close the loan, showing that the loan had been paid off or never obtained, when the DAO or the DeFi system had already paid them the money. So they're trying to work with the hackers to get money back. They've made back up 870,000 compared to the 195 million that were stolen. So there's still, a lot of progress to be made there. So in Q2, we have the BitTrue exchange heist, another 23 million. They exploited the exchange's hot wallet system. Are we getting a theme here? Crypto whale mystery. They don't quite know what happened here. Although they had a multi-sig contract used to secure the funds that was somehow hacked. Deuce Finance, another distributed finance protocol, suffered a security breach. I hadn't even heard of Deuce Finance, and I keep my finger on the pulse pretty well. And there's a lot of these that are growing into the millions, with people throwing a lot of money into these things and still getting hacked. Trust Wallet, social engineering tactic there. Social engineering could happen to your stock portfolio just as well as it can happen to cryptocurrencies. So it's really, that one's not a peculiar one just to the crypto industry, because people can social engineer you to give you to not force you, but to trick you into giving up your password and username. And then you got KuCoin that lost 22,000. So you should, if you're going to trade in crypto, you really need to research the companies and the exchanges that you're working with. There are a lot of exchanges and places out there that are just looking to steal your money. Or they have amateur programmers that have never actually secured a blockchain in the past. And without that kind of security, you gotta kind of steer clear of those. Let them be tested on somebody else losing their money before they lose your money, is basically the message here. So what I wanted to do then is bring up a graphic here to show you the full extent here. When we look at the full year, this is a graphic that from CertiK, major incidents in July only, and we have these incidents we just talked about in the last article. This was a graphic out of that article, so just bringing it up. So DeFi Labs and Zero Sum Phishing, Kanagi Finance, Airland, Conic Finance, Poly Network, several I have not heard of, others I have, Multichain I'd heard of. But the whole point here is, when we talk about losses, we're talking about it in crypto. I would challenge anyone to find a set of hackers that were so interested in hacking into somebody's supply chain blockchain that they just had to try to steal the coins that are really the tokens that are really not worth anything to anybody outside that blockchain, and try to do something with it. It just doesn't happen. The corporate espionage level of hacking that it would take to get into a blockchain for business would be so expensive, and it wouldn't ever yield any sort of return, is the big deal there. So flash loan attacks, you have that big one in March, and you have a little bit going on all the time, several $1 million just going on all the time. An exit scam, I'm not exactly sure what the exit scam there is, but when you total all of them up, you have exploits, total loss on exploits, exit scams, flash loans, and here it tells you who the big players are in those losses. So you have Kanagi Finance losing with an exit scam, where you have Conic Finance losing with a flash loan scam. So the whole point here literally is that while there's almost $1 billion in losses, those losses are not coming to the blockchains that are put together for business. It just doesn't happen. Okay? So when we go here and we look at is blockchain secure? Yes, blockchain is secure. It's the coders and people who create the tools to work with cryptocurrency that are losing the money for their clients. And that's the whole point. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead and close that one.
So Nathan responded and clarified his statement. He says the exchange itself falling apart versus somebody getting hold of your assets.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yep. Absolutely. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and close these two. This was submitted by someone in the class that I thought was extremely good. It talks about the future of blockchain, and the beginning part of the article is kind of generic. It's talking about, what's blockchain and what the benefits could be in healthcare, reducing fraud and decentralization, cryptography, the usual stuff, okay? What interested me is getting down here to the ways that they would implement it here with electronic health records. Using blockchain for medical records allows physicians and patient data to review patient data with ease, as all records or lab results are recorded in the system. When the doctors access it, it's registered as a transaction, so you know who's looking at your data. And you can, usually they're private blockchains, which allow the user to say, this doctor should have access, not all doctors, but just this doctor, or this health facility should have access to my records so that they can be prepared in performing yet another procedure. You can automate transactions through smart contracts that allow the pharmaceutical companies, wholesalers, insurance companies, health providers to automate the tracking and monitoring that they need to have. The paperwork drain on an organization is incredible, knowing what things can be paid and what things can't, and the amount of paperwork that gets associated with the various insurance companies that are supported, and add Medicare into there and add all kinds of different medical payees, and having smart contracts to automate those things are huge. There's a lot of software out there that gets thrown at this issue. It's called vertical software, but with all of that software, there's no one method that they all do it, and they don't necessarily all interconnect. The promise of blockchain is that it, with its decentralized format, allows other organizations to join blockchains that are existing, which allows them then to tap into clients that are already there and insurance companies that are already using it, and various things. It can start building, and you're going to start seeing competing blockchains in these various areas where companies will join them that are in particular industries and build up a consortium that gets larger and larger. So hooking in IoT helps as well, simply because IoT can provide remote monitoring. How many of you have known a person who has had a medical device that sends a stream of data to a medical provider? My CPAP does that, for example. Various other heart devices and health monitoring devices have been perfected now that allow people to send a data stream over to their doctor on a continuous basis. Well, blockchain can even make that faster and better, and with smart contracts can alert doctors when there's an aberrant situation and literally provide care at the moment that it's needed. Okay. The next thing that really interested me is they had a section on cost. What is the total cost to implement a blockchain? Well, they're estimating that implementing a blockchain by themselves, let's say Mercy Healthcare or Baptist Medical, decides to implement their own blockchain. They estimate that it'll take about $500,000 to do that. Well, return on investment promises to be significant, but nobody's actually done it fully to know exactly what it could save. The estimate is that it could save $100 billion a year once it's implemented. Okay, can they implement it for 500,000? Good question. When I was at Boeing, we had a finance system that we were implementing it. By the time it was done, it was over that amount. And it was a system that needed to be developed just to manage putting together business plans. So it costs more than that. So with something like blockchain, you might be able to get IBM or the various companies that are working in these areas to do it for less than 500,000, maybe. The type of blockchain technology is important. $1,500 if you joined a private blockchain, and I can't highlight here. So $1,500 a month for joining a private blockchain, but like I said, it could save a lot of money for the healthcare institution. The hardware and infrastructure costs depends on the size of the organization, of course. The number of servers, networks, and storage systems would vary. And understand that if a healthcare organization had a node, they'd have centralized nodes, of course, in their big hospitals, but they'd also have distributed nodes in all of their various healthcare facilities. So, like for example, for my hand getting broken, my wrist getting broken a month ago, I'm going to Baptist Health Physical Therapy. They would be running a node in their shop there, and they would be adding data where I got help with getting my hand to work again. Various different outlets would have their nodes, so it would be distributed. So the cost shouldn't be tremendously huge, but they would have a node in each one of their areas. So they're talking $1,500 to join a blockchain. That's important. And then it talks about reducing the costs, and data verification can be done by smart contract. Reduces the loss of supplies and equipment by keeping all of the equipment on the blockchain for their supply chain, as well as for their supplies in-house as they're used for particular customers. With how fast they consume products in a hospital, gosh, I can't imagine how they keep track of all of that stuff. I've seen various barcode schemes and so forth, but it's just amazing. Somebody has a problem, and all of a sudden you're just grabbing supplies and taking care of the issue. It's hard to stop and think, okay, what supplies did I use, and so forth. So blockchain may help. I don't know. It's a matter of recording the data, and you've got to get an efficient way to record the data, as well as an efficient way to keep the data once it's recorded. So this article says that blockchain technology is the future of healthcare. I agree with them, and I believe that. It's just going to take a fractured health system like what we have a long time to get there. I really don't think that they're going to really be able to jump in with both feet because of all of the HIPAA requirements and all privacy requirements and everything they have to consider in order to make it all work together. So that's my take on it, but I think this article really has a lot going for it, and whoever posted this one found a gem. And we need more of these kind of articles for each industry, and we need a whole lot less, please, a whole lot less of the cryptocurrency articles, and a whole lot more about the focus of the class, which is blockchain use in business. So start searching the IBM website. I was introduced to Amazon, AMB, that also is a Amazon blockchain. They're trying to compete with IBM as well, and they may be a very strong competitor in the near term. I know Oracle is into blockchain, and there's a lot of small blockchain houses that have a lot of data out there. So let's dig into those and share a whole lot more articles about blockchains being used in business, and get away from the cryptocurrency side of it. We've played around in the cryptocurrency space long enough now. We can move on to business now. So I am done talking.
I did want to make a comment about especially the medical technology and moving on to the blockchain. Of course, with every blockchain implementation, security is a big focus. When it comes to medical information, medical data, that's probably the highest point you can have when it comes to need for security. And having a data breach, if you're on a coin exchange, you lose some money. Here, your medical records are now public, right? And right now, we view that as one of your most private of kinds of records. And so there is a big debate to be had there. How much do you want to put your records on experimental, blockchain? Who wants to take that plunge first? Honestly, personally, I think Europe's going to beat us to it, just because they already have more socialized healthcare that's run by the government. All the information is owned by the government anyway. Mm-hmm. They don't have that same expectation of privacy that we do. Now, on the other hand, they also have a lot higher requirements. The GDPR, I think it's called. Mm-hmm. For their own data protection.
Data protection.
So there's a give and take there, and so you have to be very, very careful when rolling this kind of technology out in ways that your average trash coin that you roll out doesn't need.
Trash coin, huh? Do you have an opinion about that?
Yes.
Yes. Just leave it at yes. Okay.
If it's not Bitcoin or Ethereum, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's about true. Oh, I like Litecoin too, but anyway. Anyway, so let's call for the roll call, and let's call it a night. And I'll continue answering questions until the end. But go ahead and tell me that you're still here, and let me know, and we'll mark you off on the list. Okay, Ariana, Hurt, Halliburton, Agard, Minach, Nehal, Shah, Jihad, Terry. Okay, very good. Glad to have you all here. It was great. So be sure to know that if you have any questions, you can also email me during the week. I'm trying to keep up on my emails and make sure I answer you the day that you send it, if not the next day.
Okay. Is that it?
Oh, we have Tristan and Nathan and Amy. Nathan, the bottom one. Okay, go ahead and change the screen.